also been targeted assassination, whether it was a KGB officer or even there are reports which the front line says whether Yasser Arafat was poisoned. There are many debates all over the world, and radiological accidents in other parts of the where radiation protection surveillance was required. Chernobyl is one of the nuclear power stations which was one of the worst history of nuclear power generations. And again, the Fukushima triple disaster because of earthquake, tsunami and nuclear in 2011, militant attacks, convoy. And when we talk about the major man-made disasters, we say chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear, in addition to the transport, is one of the area of concern. And chemical, it can be because of manufacturing, handling, storage, transportation, and it leads to fire, explosion, toxic release of gases, and also the meteorology of the area. That means the wind plays a major role. What happened in Bhopal. Again, it doesn't only affect the living organisms, but also environment, property, and also the pollution and these long-term effects. And if we talk about what will be the consequences, will be the loss of life on livestock, flora, fauna, impact even on the air, soil, and water. And the type of emergencies are either on-site, that means within the plant, or off-site, outside the plant. And emergencies which one has to face will be explosion, toxic release of gases, or both. And there are worldwide number of chemical disasters, right from 74, 84. These are the Southeast Asian, what happened to the chemical factories. Even explosions in a big way, boiler explosions, cyclone has created havoc in some areas, then flooding in industrial park where chemicals were being manufactured. There have been Indian Ocean tsunami in Indonesia where large number of storage tanks got affected, dam failure in China, and even the transportation petrochemical operations, lightning created from oil rig explosion, accidents of railway carrying the hazardous material in Stockholm, and even in our country, the transportation accidents carrying the hazardous material is virtually now a number of places, whether it was in Kerala and Maharashtra, killing large number of people because due to lack of knowledge, people go and try to collect they think that it's either a kerosene which they can use. All over the world, the transportation of chemical is happening in a big way. And if we talk about our scenario, we have more than 240,000 hazardous industries with more than 4 million workers who are exposed, besides 1,900 major accident hazard units. And if we talk about our country, it is the third largest consumer of polymers in the world and fourth largest producer of agrochemicals, pesticides, which are exported to all over. And that there are large number of regulatory legislations, whether it is environmental protection act, factories and manufacture, storage, and hazardous public liability. Many acts are there, which have been done, where identification of emergency, preparation of emergency plans, and practicing mock drill has been emphasized in almost all the rules, where the roles and responsibilities have been made even for the offset plans to the chief medical officer. We have national guidelines with regard to the chemical industrial disasters as per the act, which have the legal 2005 National Disaster Management Act, which gives you complete regulatory framework, which gives you what is required to be done. And one of the important things in this guideline is that we should have emergency medical response centers and poison control centers, besides capacity development for all our emergency responders. There are code of practices, education, training, creation of the appropriate infrastructure is the key in these. And also the roles and responsibilities state governments has been mentioned, and any disaster or any industrial disaster occurs, besides the search, rescue, first aid, it is the transfer, evacuation to the higher medical institution where the role of emergency medical technician, paramedics comes. And we have in the national guidelines which we prepared for the mass casualty management, we clearly indicate roles and responsibilities, and that we should work on incident command system. We should have certified not only the paramedics, but even at the community level, we should create cadre of first medical responders who have to be very well informed. Besides what was mentioned, evacuation by integrated network of ambulances along with the evacuation plan for using the heli ambulances has also been mentioned, and establishment of burn centers with at least 30 beds wherever we have chemical industries is important. And what is emphasized in this is the training of employees, training of that at least 10% of the workers should be trained in first aid and we have gaps. You see, it's a known fact, non-implementation of guidelines, we have lack of competency and skills of emergency care for chemical accidents is a big issue. And we are don't have the training centers for chemical and CBRN response in the health sector, which is a great issue. We, in health sector, personal protection equipment is not there. Stockpiling of antidotes, which even now US has done a great thing in having the stockpiling of antidotes. Within 1 hour they can get even antidote of any chemical. And lack of occupational health for training institutions. And what is also important is hospital disaster management plans, treatment protocols, which are required to be not only for immediate but long term and for delayed. And what is really required is that if we see what happened in Bhopal, doctors and hospitals were unaware about the nature, how to treat. They had no knowledge about the antidotes, how to treat. This is the Bhopal which occurred more than on spot 2,000 people died. And when we talk about chemical, biological and radiological threats, these can be direct and this can be man-made, accidental, even which can occur in the industries. And again, environmental, there can be disease outbreaks, there can be problem in storage, transport, which I have mentioned. These are one of the recent CBRN incidents in 2016, 2010, radiological. Important was 2010 Delhi incident. One of the scrap dealers in Delhi purchased scrap from Delhi University. And when he went there, he broke a big thing and he saw a shining piece, kept it in pocket, and he became ill. For 4 to 5 days, he was roaming from one hospital to another, including Max and Orient, and nobody could diagnose that he had acute radiation sickness. It was just one doctor, when he was standing, he started scratching. He said, why are you scratching? When he examined, he had a burn, and it was found that it was a cobalt. That rod which he had kept in the pocket was cobalt. And again, recent accidents whether in UK in 2015, 2018, and manifestations, this could be sabotage. This could be what we call is a dirty bomb, which can be used in ships, aircrafts, critical infrastructure, and also transportation, scrap disposal. In Gujarat, there was in the shipbreaking yards, we found that some of the material which was bought from Iraq had radiations. And when we talk about the vulnerability of India, India is vulnerable because of not only densely populated, but also widespread expansion of the increased industries, but also terrorism by non-state actors, and we have large border, whether it's in Pakistan, whether it's in Bangladesh. And if we talk about chemicals, it can be any substance, chemical, solid, liquid, gas, which can harm people, environment. It can be classified into various, whether it is an explosive, it can be corrosive, it can be radioactive material even, and chemical agents which have been used in the, not only in the warfare but also by the, for treating harm, can be nerve agents, choking agents, it can be blood agents, it can be blister agents, right control agents which is being used by the police and which can create problems, and besides the cyanide and the root, I will not elaborate, it can be inhaled, it can be ingested, or it can go by skin contact. And let me tell you, biological agents threat is also increasing. What we have now been facing, it can cause death by inhalation, ingestion, and which are the types of bacteria or these bioagents? Can be bacteria, it can be virus, it can be biotoxins, which I need not to further elaborate. And there are clues. If there are large unexplained epidemic of similar greater case number than expected, unexplained number of death of animals and birds, and medical clues also, we see we have the epidemiological clue, we have miscellaneous clues, even for the intelligence report sometimes say that there can be a biological threat and this. And for delivery of biological agents, it's very simple. It's not that you need large aircrafts or anything. You can even use a small can of like a Coca-Cola, a tiny thing which can create large problem. And the agent, bioagent, it can only be detected in the laboratories. In the laboratories, we are biologically safe. What we call is the biosafety levels of the laboratory is very high. And there are indicators which I will not like to go into detail. Routes of exposure can be water, which I have already mentioned. And there have been categorized bio-warfare agents, which can be human, which can be animal pathogens, which can be plant pathogens, food and water-borne pathogens. These are all which have been used in various warfare activities. So how do they present? They present like flu-like symptoms, and important response is not only notification but also detection. And there is now equipments are there, bioagent detectors. There are now kits also developed by DRDO in our country which can be used. And important thing is isolation and confirmation, which can be done by simple tests, at the test. And when we talk about the radiological threat agents, they cause harm through energy. It can be in radiological department, it can be nuclear medicine, power plants and industries. Again, they can only be detected by instruments. They can't be seen. And indications, again, can be, there are a number of signs and symptoms, and acute radiation syndrome, which I mentioned. And again, it can manifest in various, not only in the immediate, but it can also lead to hemopoietic, and it can also lead to cancers in the long term, cancers, and it can have a lot of problems. And also sometimes we have combination of conventional trauma and radiation injury. They use radioactive material with the bombs and grenades, which also is a matter of great concern, which I have been. And how do we respond in emergency is that we have to not only isolate, but we have to contaminate. And what is important is minimize time. If you want to save human lives, you have to minimize time for emergency response and maximize distraction. But what is important is save yourself. You should not die. The way coronavirus, even the hospital director in China, in Wuhan, died. So important, there are physical protection equipments, there are dresses, there are protections which can be used for CBRN, for not only for command and control, but for casualty situations, for providing medical shelters, for providing collective shelters, for individual protective equipment, masks. Then there are equipments which are radiation detectors, which are available with our NDR of people. And we have, besides, there are what we call as decorporation agents, medicines, which are now available. Even again, our DRDO has made the tablets of alginic acid which are available. And when we talk about the mortality, the number of mortality has gone up during the last couple of years, and threat is there because when we see all these chemical biological threats released, whether it's they try to see in the places where you have large number of people, malls, mass transportation, in our religious gatherings like our Kumbh Melas, they try to see all these places where they can create havoc. So we have to be, there are laws, international laws where we are also signatories, and what is important is you need to be proactive. You have to work for emergency response and provide good coordination, not only with the medical but with other forces also. And what is important is you should protect as an AMS, as a paramedic, first yourself, and also communicate, command and control is very important. And besides securing the area, you have to approach with care, identify products, assess the situation. There are certain guidelines from the incident sites, how you should do the triage. And again, I need not to go about the CBRN casualty management problems which have to be done either at site or further action at the site can be done, provide personal protection equipment to emergency responders and quick response team which has to be done, basic life support, reassurance, medical antidotes, prioritization, the CBRN, triage is very important, and which again can be done on using the STAR triage criteria. And again, nerve agents is also an area where you need to do quick action in the hospital. And there are various protocols available which have to be put into action, and besides the symptomatic treatment to be given in the emergency department, and also for blood agents which can cause problems besides the choking agents, and the cyanide, which is one of the important chemical which is used, can be treated if timely taken by an EMS to hospital. And what is really required during the key is how swift and how quick you are in your action, whether it is triage, whether it is resuscitation, transportation, or providing first aid, on-site therapy. And again, you have to detect and resistant. And what is important is decontamination besides isolation, making a warm and cold zone, and again, decontamination, the triage is very important. Nothing will save, but only if you have done a good decontamination, either with water, soap water, and whether mass decontamination is to be done, or what is search and rescue is to be done. In the country, we have no protocols which are being used by NDRF, and also in the health sector has also taken a large number of people. Hand washing, we are emphasizing that we need, besides the use of protective equipment, gears, and all these have to be taken action not only during the CBRN attacks but also in the industries, the stockpiling of drugs in the emergency departments with the emergency responders. And what is important is simulations. Simulations have to be done by using the CBRN testing, and not only that, you have to also simulate what will happen 100 days after the attack. You have to do radiological or chemical. Now there are various, not only the guidelines, but also software is available in India. We have done a lot of initiatives in India with regard to crisis management, crisis prevention, and also acts have been passed by our parliament. We have atomic energy emergency response centers, and emphasis is that we need to improve health infrastructure and capacity development right from our EMS to the top on the tertiary care. This I have mentioned. And what is important is Government of India is spending now a lot of money to improve the human resource development, creating emergency operation centers for CBRN initiatives, and also states have been asked to provide land, and the 5 metros, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Calcutta will be where one center for medical response will be established for CBRN. And I will conclude with the saying of PG that if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have the beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for that wonderful overview of CBRN for EMS providers. Our next speaker